All right, good afternoon, guys. Today's video, we're in Ayutthaya, and we're going to take a look at probably the most famous temple in this area. And it's actually the first one I came to when I first came to Ayutthaya, back when I first came to Thailand. We're going to check out Wat Mahathat. And it's a temple that was originally built in, I believe, 1374. And it has so much history in it, and it's probably the most visited place when people come to Ayutthaya. And it's one of the bigger ruins, and it's part of the 6 temple package that you can do. And this is the 5th one of those 6 that I've done a video on. So I'll eventually compile them all and put them into maybe one video, and I'll at least put all 6 of them into a playlist. So if you're traveling here, you can take a look at the major ones, the ones that you are definitely on the must see. So this one has the most famous Buddha image in the tree. I'll take a picture of that like everybody else has to. So anyway, let's walk around and let's take a look at Wat Mahathat. So this temple is right next to another one of them. That's the one that's closest right there. That's the Wat Borommaracha, and then Wat Sampet is very close to here, as well as the ruins of the former Grand Palace. So this is the outer wall and what is remaining of it. It had the gates and just a massive amount of bricks that they used in construction, and some detail work that was all put into all of this. So this is quite an impressive building. And rumor, or what I read about it, is King Ramsawan. He's the one that first marked out the location of this temple. And if you remember from some of my other videos, King Ramsawan, he's the one that, he took over power from one of the other kings. He came down from Lopburi and he took over power, grabbed there was a teenage prince that was, his father died and he took over as king. So King Ramsawan came here from Lopburi, infiltrated the Grand Palace, took the boy hostage, and then they executed him at that royal execution site. And I did a video on it where they put him in a velvet sack and then they beat him to death with a sandalwood club. So nobody can touch the king and no blood touches the ground, but they still execute him. So anyway, he took power over all of that. So he's the one that first marked out this temple. So this one you have to pay. This one is 50 baht for a foreigner and 10 baht for a Thai person. And it's also, you can get it for the package of 220 baht for 6 temples. But we're only going to see one today, so I'll pay for the one. And you can see the detail work on the fence. Okay, so they have a model of what this temple would have looked like. So you have the central prong, and then it would have had the 4 smaller ones in the cardinal directions. And the central prong at one point was 50 meters tall, which was gigantic. This would have been amazing to see when it was originally built. Okay, so here's the ticket gate. You gotta pay 50 baht to get in, and they have the temperature check and all of that. So let's go in and look at this. Okay, so here is inside of the ruins. And it is a massive, massive complex, as you can see. Now this was believed to be the most important temple ground in Ayutthaya. It was very close to the Grand Palace, so it's easy for the people to come over and pay respects here. Now this temple was also prone to quite a bit of looting. Whenever Ayutthaya was sacked and it was just ruins, people would come over here and loot any valuable items that they could find. And there's some stories about when they excavated, about how they had to dig down with a crowbar to find the relics. And there was a couple guys that were almost killed by the difference in the air pressure when they were digging down 17 meters to find the relics. Okay, so you can see this is one of the main prongs. This is one that looks quite a bit different than the rest. You can see the top of it. Well, the others went up to a dome. That one did not. And then some of the smaller ones. And then these ruins here just have the outer walls, and then the pedestal where the Buddhas would have been. So this chetty here is an octagon base. And then they talk about how it has quite a bit of Lana influence, which the Lana Kingdom was around Chiang Mai area. Now this had a bronze statue on the top, and I guess that has been taken off and it's in the National Museum, the Chao Sam Phraya National Museum. But this is quite cool. You can see the little archways, so there would have been Buddhas and everything in each of these. So they had all the relics. Got a bird up there chirping. It's quite brilliant. So a lot of this stuff, I mean, this temple was so massive and they kept adding on to it year after year after year. So it just progressively got bigger. So this was added on after the main Chedi. Now it's quite confusing about when this was actually constructed. So Ramsawan might have just added onto it. So it might have been built like the main stupa in the middle was built and then he added onto it. There's quite a bit of confusion, but kind of what everybody thinks is around 1374, but it's probably that there was something here prior to that. And then they've since added onto it. Ramsawan added onto it, and he added onto it probably like in 1384. You can see some more. This is just colossal. You can see this inner wall here. We'll go in that. And we got a Buddha that's in this prayer hall here. And then another prayer hall over here. These are not in very good shape compared to some. You can see the base of this one here just has the Buddha legs. Okay, so this is probably the most photographed place in all of Ayutthaya. This is a sandstone Buddha head that's been trapped in the base of this Bodhi tree. You can see the Bodhi tree is grown over this wall and completely taking it over. And it says on the little story that the sandstone Buddha head was gradually encased by this tree, but I think it was probably placed there and then the tree is grown around it, but it's not in a real position where it would have been naturally. And you can see that little stupa. Let's look around this little bit. You can see here, this is inside that one prayer hall. So the walls are completely gone. There's a little bit of the door entrance, and then you can see the base of the Buddha, his legs, right in front of that little prong, and then the Bodhi tree that has the Buddha head in it is overtaking that wall. And there's so much to this ruin. This ruin here is just sprawling. And then you can see the outer wall here. A little bit of the stucco that's still on it, but not a whole lot. And then just some more of these little like wee hands and all that. And you can see this little building here. Has a pretty decent Buddha image that's still in it. Now at Ayutthaya, they block off a lot of it, where some of the places you can climb up and you can walk around and look really close. This one here, they got all these little fences that they've added since I was here last, so you can't get up anywhere near all this stuff. Oh, this is really nice. So it still has one of the Buddha images. Ah, very cool. And that's in this little prong right here. Okay, so here, this part, you can climb up to this this sermon hall. There's not a whole lot left. A little bit of the west wall and the south wall. So the Buddhas would have been up there. And then it has some of the support beams and a little bit of the south wall. You can see how they're bracing it up so it doesn't collapse again. This is a massive hall. This is gigantic. So they put these slits in the wall up here that kind of make it look like rails on a fence, but it would have added ventilation plus lighting in here. So from here you can really see how sprawling this whole complex is. And there's so many little buildings over here, and then over there is the next temple over. And then the outer wall would have been here. And what's cool is in the road, there's all these little stupas and everything else all around this area. And then the fence, the outer perimeter wall. Okay, so around that central pagoda, right here, this would have been a covered walkway. They call it the cloister, I believe. And this would have been an area for people to go and do the ceremony where you walk around the temple 3 times. It was also ringed with Buddhas. So they had an inner wall and an outer wall, and this would have all been covered with the roof. And then there would have been Buddhas all around here, and they all would have been facing the center of the temple. And that's pretty common what you see now, but you don't see the double wall. You don't see this as a wall. It would maybe be covered, and then it probably had, well, it has little holes in it that would have been able to see the central prong. But you see it where it will have like one wall on the outside, but it'll be open on the inside now. But that's what they say is like really common in the early Ayutthaya style. And this place is just so massive. There's so many little chetties, and there's so much to see here. It is really cool. And just imagine, this would have been 50 meters tall. They say it collapsed, like I believe in 1910 at 5 in the morning. So there's probably a sleepy security guard that got woke up by it. And all of this is on the inside. There's just so much to see here. All these little tiny stupas all around the main prong or the main pagoda. And then it has all these ones around it on the corners. Just really cool. Now this was remodeled several times. So you see different influences. Like this right here, this is like a later Ayutthaya style, as opposed to the like the Khmer style or the Lana style. And you could see the stairwells. So it would have had stairs going up there, and then it would have had some other stairwells over here on the other side. They said it has porches. I said that wrong. It was 1911, I believe, is when the pagoda collapsed. And they still use this in the reign of Rama V. They were still using this. And this was remodeled in 1633 was the last time it was remodeled. Just amazing, really nice. So this is pretty cool looking right here. So you can see right down this little covered walkway, and they have all the Buddha images, or what's left of them. And these would have been where the columns were built that would have covered it. And then this is pretty cool. This is the main prong. Oh, it's a shame. It'd be so amazing to see it. Too bad it collapsed. And quite a few of these others are kind of leaning. I mean, they're in pretty rough shape. But you know, they were built in the 1300s, so, and this is really tropical, so it gets so much rain. And there would have been all these little tiny stupas all around there, and they're all gone except for 3 on this side. Looks like we're getting a little bit of rain that's coming in. I say that it's tropical, and then it starts raining. And this would have been a little building here, and the Buddha would have been facing the center, and then he would have had stairs to go up there. Now I'm not sure, this one would have been 50 meters. I think the Chedi Luang in Chiang Mai would have been, because it's half gone, I think it would be like 84 meters or so. I think that's how big that one was. That one was gigantic. But 50 meters, and then you go to like the Khlong Pratu Chedi, and I think that's 110 meters tall, which is the tallest Buddha building in the world. It is massive. And I have a video for that one. It's in my my playlist, my Thai temples, as well as my Thai travels. Yeah, this is pretty nice. I love this. Oh, and you can see some detail work up there at the top in the plaster. And then above those little nooks right there, they would have had the symbols and stuff. And all around. So this is pretty nice to have a Buddha here right in front of the prong. And then that prong over there that's in one of the corners is in still really good shape. So you can see where they had the stairwell, and you would have been able to go up and see like a Buddha image or whatever. Now they call this temple the Temple of Many Relics. So there would have been stuff that, from what I read, they brought in things from like when they attacked the Khmer in like 1430. They brought in like a green Buddha and all kinds of other Buddhas they brought in from there, and they housed them at this temple. King Ramasawan, he brought in relics and put in this temple. And you can see some more. This is outside of that wall. This is to the west of the main prang, or the main pagoda in the middle. And you can see that jetty there. That one there looks like it's in the later Ayutthaya style. Let's go up and look at this building really quick. This is one where most of the walls have collapsed down. Some are remaining. And then the Buddha pedestal would have been right here. And then some more of the prongs on the outside. And this wall. You can see it's got a big crack in it. It's still up. It's a little leaning, but it's okay. Okay, so you can see how they had the wall built. And it has the little nooks. So they would have had like Buddha images inside of there. And then they have the marker stones that's right around this sermon hall. They have several of them. There's more of them over there. And then what's cool is this one right here. It's still in fantastic shape. You can see all that plaster work. And it has the little cubby holes there where they would have had a Buddha. That's in fantastic shape. That's really nice. This is a pretty good view of that. Just think about what this would have looked like. 50 meters tall, sticking up right there in the middle, with all these smaller little prongs all around it. And then there would have been buildings, houses, everything else, and then you'd have that big temple right next to it. Today, you see, that is Ayutthaya. You can see over there. Has all the modern houses, roads, and everything coming along. But back in the day, there would have been just canals everywhere, and wooden buildings, all the old Thai style wooden buildings. Of course, you'd had some dogs like this. Now here's the outer wall. And then it has like a park you can walk through back there. It has some little ponds and some more of the ruins. And then Sampet is not too far from here. There's so much to see. 3 of the temples are really close to this one, so you can make a day and definitely catch 4 of the temples pretty easy, of the 220 baht that you do for the whole temple tour. So here's one of the gates that you would have came in. Just think if this whole wall would have been here. I mean, that wall is, I don't know, 16, 17 meters tall. And then you got the lower wall here that would have had all these little Buddhas all the way around. And then I want to take a look at this little building over here. It looks pretty cool. You have another little prayer hall here that's just down to the base. And then over there, well, maybe you can look in that one. All right, so this is really, really cool. So this is a small little sermon hall. You can see a lot of the plaster is still intact. And it's built where it has the external wall. And it looks like a little ship. You can see how it's kind of bowed in the middle. And the walls were designed to support the roof. And there would have been a Buddha inside. Now it looks like it's just bird nests. Yeah, there's nothing left inside, just bird nests and even a dead bird on the ground. You can see the detail work there. Yeah, this is very nice. This building here is probably the best preserved out of all of this whole ruin. Yeah, it's really, really nice. Okay, so this prayer hall here is got just a little bit of the walls remaining, not much. And then you would have had an access to this prong right behind. So there would have been a Buddha in that big hole, and then Buddhas all up to where you would have seen them from inside of here. So you'd have been able to access it right out of the back of this building. Yeah, so they've taken whatever Buddha was inside of there. It might have been looted, or whenever they renovated this place, it was taken out. So let's look in this one more over here, and then look at the rest of these grounds, and then we'll go. It's starting to rain kind of hard now. Okay, so here's that one that I saw back there. And you can look up in there. You can, I don't know, they don't have a sign here, but I'm not going to climb up. Looks like they got part of the cloth for one of the Buddha robes, and then you see the top is like the lotus bud, and then it still has some of the plaster work around. There's just so much cool stuff to see at this temple. This one is nice. Okay, last little look around. There's that little building over there. That's actually outside of the wall, so that's part of the next temple. And then you can see the last little part of this temple ground. And then the outer wall. All right, guys. So that finishes up our little walk around here at Wat Mahathat, or the Temple of the Relics. This is quite cool. When this was actually built, 1374 or not, it doesn't really matter. It's really, really old. 1374 was probably when they added on to it, and then King Ramsuan added on to it, and it's been built up. I mean, these old temples like this, you know, generations used it, and then they would add to it, and it just became part of the area where everybody would go. It was really, really important, so there was always attention given to this temple. And it's a shame that that main chetty fell off, or the main prang or pagoda collapsed in 1911. At 50 meters tall, it would have been really amazing to see. So anyway, I'll have to dig through and see if I can find any old pictures of it, because there actually are a few pictures of it. So I'll see if I can find any. So anyway, guys, hopefully you like this this temple. This is really cool. This is probably the most visited site here in Ayutthaya. Unfortunately, it's raining a little bit, so hey, but whatever, it's okay. So if you like the video, make sure you click like and subscribe to my channel, and share it with your friends if you want, or on your social media. And if you want to leave me a comment, if you've been here, tell me in a comment down below, or if you want to come, tell me that also. Looks like there's so many more tourists at this site today. Even in the rain, there's quite a few people out braving it, which kind of has gotten me spoiled with coming to all these empty temples and all of that. But hey, you know what? People can come in here. They just will be in my video now. So anyway, guys, remember, life is a journey, so enjoy.